just released my last video. I released my video. I recorded, I edited, released it, and as soon as I premiere it, the news of, other than Benavidez and Bivol, this is a highly anticipated fight here. Let's talk about it. The Mexican Monster. David Benavidez finally versus Morrell. Now, the thing is it's funny, man, this fight, a lot of this fight had to do with the Canelo duck. You know, there were a lot of Canelo fans saying, well, David Benavidez, if Canelo's ducking David and David's ducking Morrell. And it's like, well, it's a bit different, right? Because Morrell, mandatory, no. Is he, how many fights has he had? How experienced is he? But he's been calling David Benavidez the Mexican Monster out for a while now. And my thing is, well, like he said, if the people want it, let's go get it. And David Benavidez, I mean, it's really shocking to me because it's not like you haven't seen a ton of Dave Morrell's work. And you see his comment on Instagram saying that he reached out to Morrell's team. Well, that's what the great ones do. David Benavidez trying to build a legacy of his own without Canelo Alvarez. And I've said that many times repeatedly. Forget about the Canelo Alvarez fight. Canelo has built his legacy. Build your own.
But this is the right time to move up to super light heavyweight because I did everything I could do at 168. I've been there for 10 years. But the only other thing I had to achieve was, fighting for the unified world titles. And Canelo Alvarez is holding all of them. So he doesn't want to give me the fight. I've been mandatory for the past 3 years. I've done everything I could do to get that fight. I still haven't got it, so I'm not going to wait around for nobody. I'm going to go and make my own lane at 175, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
And Morrell, going up and weight and all those things to fight David Benavidez is natural. I want to say this. Let's break this down in a few phases here. Number one, I believe this is going to be on the same card as Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. This better be the main event. It's no question, bro. It's no question. David Benavidez versus Morrell is the main event. Must be. And I remember, and Gervonta will have no problem with that. I remember when they had their, co-main fight when they were on the same card last time. Gervonta said, yeah, I wouldn't mind being co-main to his main event.
You and David Benavidez 1-2 combo. Would you want him again on the same card?
Yeah, for sure. And we could swap it out. I could be co-main, he could be main event. It don't matter.
Because he respects David Benavidez that much. So I don't think it's beyond the imagination that that's exactly what's going to happen. There's a huge demand for this fight, Dave Morrell and David Benavidez. For me, though, I never had a huge demand for it because I think it's a bit early for Morrell. And when you look at his last fight, Riyadh season, I believe that was the same card where Bacoli stopped Jared Anderson. David Morrell didn't look that good. He didn't. But a lot of people don't think David Benavidez looked that good against Volsic. I thought he looked great. I just thought he gassed out. But I thought he looked phenomenal. I really did. And I saw new, facets to his game as far as defensively. I thought he looked incredible. I really did. He just, going up and weight and stamina thing in Volsic is ex-champion unified. That guy can fight. I thought he was going in intimidated by David Benavidez, and he proved his worth up in there once again. Now, David Benavidez, people don't think that he looked that good that fight. Fine. This fight, though, reminds me a bit of how they moved along Vargas. Remember when Vargas fought Trinidad? People wanted that fight until they saw it.
4 rounds, Tito Trinidad is released. Down goes Vargas. Or he's lost this fight. Down goes Vargas.
And when they saw it, they were like, yeah, that's a bit... Like, they moved Vargas along. Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya.
There it is. He's got him going backwards. De La Hoya's got him going backwards. Now he's got Vargas in the corner. Throwing punches.
He was a little too young, and he was showing a lot of promise, but I think they moved him along too quickly. I think that's going to rear its ugly head this fight, Morrell against David Benavidez. Don't be surprised if David Benavidez give him a boxing lesson. David Benavidez, I think he's going to show some movement, shoot the jab, be busy. I think Morrell has a puncher's chance. And I think it's a phenomenal puncher's chance because he's so athletically gifted and he punch hard, has that great background, amateur background. So I think he has a fantastic puncher's chance, but I think it's that. And what does that mean when it comes to David Benavidez's chances against a Canelo Alvarez or getting that Canelo Alvarez fight? I don't think it increases his chances of getting that fight at all. I think Canelo Alvarez is hoping that Bivol beats Beterbiev so he can have his rematch against Bivol. And same as David Benavidez. David Benavidez is the interim champion at light heavyweight. So he is the one really next in line to fight for undisputed, to fight the winner between Beterbiev and Bivol. And I'm not sure of the rematch clause or anything like that, but he's the next in line. But I want to say this in closing. PBC, nice way to save that card, man. I'm hearing you guys are putting together a phenomenal card at Gervonta Lamont Roach, and nobody's missing that. Nobody's going to miss that card. You know, I've often said this, okay, when it comes to boxing. I always say, don't just buy the event for the main event. Buy it for the package. A lot of the best fights are are the other fights or on the undercard, right? And if you put together a complete card, it will be worth the purchase. I think Turkey Al-Sheikh is at the head of that, setting a bar. But listen, I want to say this though: PBC has been doing that for a while, having star-studded slugfest cards. They actually have. It's just that it's been PBC events with Turkey Al-Sheikh Riyadh season. You know, he throw all the promotion companies together. But PBC, they do put on stacked cards. But now that has become the status quo with Turkey Al-Sheikh now putting together the type of star-studded cards where it's like, wow, right? And it's almost like PBC is trying to keep it up or have their answer to it or what have you. And that's good for the fans. Either way, whatever going on, that's good for the fans. But let me know what you think about this fight, what you think about this matchup, what you think about the PBC card and how that's shaping up. ShowBizz, don't. I'm out.